So it's about that time, folks. We talked about WWE Backlash. We'll talk about the news from Backlash in a bit here. But WWE Backlash was not the big news story, not the thing that was trending on social media last night. Unfortunately for WWE, with an all-time great crowd, with some great matches, like we said, the debut of Tonga Loa. It wasn't even anything to do with like AEW taking the attention from them. Not anything to do with wrestling, period. It was Drake and Kendrick Lamar and their beef heating up. So that is why on this edition of Tru Heel Heat,
We need a
I
bell
am
ring.
giving
Ding, ding, ding.
star ratings for the Drake and Kendrick Lamar diss tracks from this past week. I want to give it up to one of the Tru Heel Heat loyal community members, Frantic World, who's been in our chat all this week. He's been saying, oh, it's been a great day for hip hop. It's been this for hip hop. It's been a great day for hip hop and all this type of stuff. And I will give him credit. He said it for a while, said it was a great day, great day. It was a great week for hip hop because I finally went back into the rabbit hole that is hip hop, and I listened to all these tracks. Listen to like that. I didn't listen to all the subliminals these two men have put on one another, but basically this whole beef, to give people a refresher course if they don't know and they're wondering why everybody's talking about it. Drake and Kendrick Lamar are the two biggest rappers in the world, basically, and they have been for over the past decade. And nearly a decade ago, on a track called Control, Kendrick Lamar basically put out a gauntlet to the whole rap community, saying that he was number one because he had just won the hottest MC on MTV in 2013. And he said he's going to hold on to his crowd, so it doesn't matter. He named all the rappers like Wale, J. Cole, Drake, and all the other rappers kind of knew what he was doing. He was laying down a gauntlet, making a challenge for the rest of the hip hop community, because hip hop is about that competitive nature. Drake, however, did not take it the same way. He got very offensive about it. He said,
Very
"Oh,
light skin.
you don't even mean it. You don't mean it like that or whatever." And that started a years long of subliminals back and forth with one another. And even Drake kind of mentioning on a concert one time, he was like, "Oh, all your other rappers got to take 5 years off, but I'm here all the time. I can't do that." Talking about Kendrick Lamar taking a 5-year long break because he was going through depression before he came out with his next album, which was a classic and won him a whole bunch of awards. But this all led to basically well, this is also a part of the Metro Booming and Future beef. Because Metro Booming has a whole beef with Drake, and he created 2 albums with Future that were basically just diss albums about Drake. And on one of the songs like that, it had Kendrick Lamar on it, and Kendrick Lamar basically went off on Drake, saying that, and J. Cole in the track as well, saying that it's no more Big Three, it's only Big Me. And this led to Drake coming out with a diss track of his own, and I think it was called Push-Ups was the first one, and he basically did like AI voices of Pac and Snoop Dogg talking to Kendrick Lamar, and then rapped on it and made a whole bunch of references. Okay, as far as this one, man, this is 3 stars. This is 3 stars. Push-Ups is trash. It's trash. I was like, what am I listening to for the first portion of it when it's Pac and Snoop Dogg AI voices? I was like, what is going on here? And then his bars at the end were pretty good, but he didn't even look like he was serious about it. It was kind of like the J. Cole 7-minute drill, which I am not giving a star rating for because he already apologized for it and he lost that beef. So
he quit.
He bowed out. He quit. He knew
quit.
what was going to happen. He didn't want to be a part of this foolishness.
Yes, he was like, yeah, y'all are way too serious about this. I am not involved. He was like, I'm not gonna damage my peace. And even Drake kind of throws some shade at J. Cole with the big thing on his chalkboard at one of his events saying, "Oh, there's no peace in hip hop. It's only competition or whatever." But yeah, 3 stars. Any thoughts on push-ups? Have you guys heard push-ups?
No, I have. I've heard all of them myself. Like you said, I was like, it was like mad to me because like the whole AI stuff was kind of like I thought it was corny, to be honest with you. Just it didn't do nothing for me. I know like a lot of Drake fans were loving it because they're like, oh, this is him trolling, this is him doing this is him doing that, and I'm just like, I'm like, what the fuck? Like this is just fucking AI. Like what the fuck? Like
Oh yeah. You're right. You're actually right, Emmanuel. I think TaylorMade is the one with the AI voices. Yeah, that's the one.
TaylorMade.
Yeah. I'll give that 3 stars.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I give that
like
3
it
stars.
was just I don't know. It was just like meh. Like
Yeah, because push-ups is the one he made after TaylorMade because Kendrick didn't put a reply out because he says that in the track. He says he was like, yo, it's been a whole week. This guy ain't coming back at me. It's 20V on these niggas. Yeah. That one is actually good. Push-ups, so TaylorMade 3 stars. Push-ups is better, so 3 3/4.
Yeah, that one's a little bit better. It was a little bit better. It's just I don't know when it comes to Drake, because we all know Drake uses ghostwriters. We all know he does this stuff. So it's kind of like it's one of those things where it's like, for me, like I said before, and when it comes to like battle raps, when it comes to stuff like this tracks and everything, if you're writing your own stuff, to me that elevates it because it's coming from you. If you're just relying on like other people to write it for you and you're just performing it, then it's not from you. That's just how I see it, right? So now, like, and that's how I see it with Drake, because again, Drake is a great performer. I think he's one of the best performers in the world. Do I think he's a great rap artist? It's debatable. Like, he does have hits, he does have great songs, but I mean, he doesn't do what Kendrick does. That's the difference to me, you know. But I mean, yeah, like I would say like Push-Ups was better than TaylorMade so far. Like,
yeah, push-ups is the one that he comes out with where he's like, drop him, give him 50. Where he's talking about how Top his manager, and he makes like references to that. He makes references to Kendrick's girl in this, saying, I don't care what Cole think, that dot shit was weak as fuck. Champagne tripping, he is not fucking easing up. So yeah, I like that one. That one was 3 3/4 stars. But then we have the Kendrick response, Euphoria, which, oh my god, I gave it the same rating I gave AJ Styles versus Cody Rhodes. 4.5 stars. That was a great main event. Great main event matchup. Oh my god, 4.5 stars. I was listening to that just before we went live because that shit is just like a death threat, a love letter, all in one. What did you think about Euphoria, Krssi Love? Have you listened to Euphoria?
I have not listened to Euphoria. Wait, was that Kendrick's last one that he released like Friday? No, that was
like 3 days
ago. That's Drake's one.
No, Kendrick. That's Kendrick's Euphoria.
Because
after Drake Friday is the executive producer.
Yeah, Euphoria was I think it was either Tuesday or Wednesday.
Yeah. Okay, see, I lost track. Like the last track I heard was like the one that was released like Friday night, and then Kendrick came like
in the middle of
the then he came in the middle of the night and then or early the next morning and released something like that. So that's why I like checked out. I was like, okay, this is what, the Homer Simpson where you like moved in the back of the weeds. I was like, yeah, this is when I exit left because I'm like, this is just too much. I can't keep up. I got other shit to do.
You got to check out. You got to check out.
But I'm loving your comments and your reviews on it. Everything.
No, Euphoria. Oh my god, that. Not only that, but like the beat, like it slaps. Like especially when he hits the second gear. Because everyone was like, oh, because everybody thought, because you know what happened? So when he starts off the song, it's very soft tone. Like the beat itself is a very soft tone. So everyone thought he was going that route. But then all of a sudden, when the fucking switch up happens, that's when it was like, oh, damn. He's
He
about
went
to.
ham. He went ham when the beat actually drops because he's just hitting them with the monotone, with the this. He's spiraling. He's a master manipulator. Like he's just hitting him with the
Yeah, he
little
changing his
twain on
voices.
it.
Yeah, his twang.
And
Yeah,
then
that I
when the
did
beat
hear.
then when the beat actually drops, he goes shoo shoo shoo. Then he goes beep 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 beep, and then he just starts hitting it with the lyrics. Oh my god! I was like, yeah, I wouldn't have even responded
Yeah,
after that.
one of my favorite parts of the song. Yeah, one of my favorite parts of the song was when he says like, "I hate the way that you walk, the way that you talk."
Yes,
like,
yes,
because that was a DMX reference because DMX said that.
And he
well,
learned
because
about
if you
in the
look at how
interview.
he used to talk, like back in like when he first started, like he was very like like his the twang was there, and he was like really like the white boy in him,
DMX.
and he,
Yeah, but that was like more of a reference to from DMX because when they asked DMX years ago, like, "Oh, do you like Drake?" No, I don't like him. I hate the way he talks. I hate the way he dresses. I hate everything about it.
He's the type of thing I want to see in the elevator. Just smack the hell out of him. That's what DMX thought about Drake when he was asked about him.
He did 3 switch-ups in that song.
The best line in Euphoria for me was, "Don't tell no lies about me, and I won't tell no truths about you."
Yep, that was right before he got to the.
That was a threat. That's a threat.
Yeah, and then he went to 3, and it was actually 3 different times he changed his beat. It was like 3 different times. Usually, like with old school kind of like rap battles, they used to do that a lot. Like they used to switch up the beat a lot. So like that's what that kind of reminded me of. It kind of reminded me of like Krssi back in the days when he used to do like these whole like crazy like diss tracks. Like he'll go from beat to beat to beat to beat. That's what that kind of reminded me of. And each part that he did, his voice changed too. I think a lot of people didn't catch that. His demeanor, his voice changed a lot. And I'd be feeling bad for Adonis, man. He been catching the strays, yo. The kid is our name like 6 years old, and man, like he has a rough life already.
His daddy, his daddy is he's guilty by association, bro. Like that's what happened.
No, I'm saying he's not only he's guilty, but it's because Drake for a while hated his son and he didn't want to take care of him. Like
until Pusha T put him on the spot.
Yep.
And that's why I love the line.
Not hated his son. Is that really?
Don't push me. Oh, don't push your T.
There was a while.
You better off going back to him.
Yeah, so there was a while where Drake actually like wasn't seeing his like legit like was not taking care of his son. He was not seeing his son because what I know too is that Drake's baby's mother, she used to work at a strip club in Queens. Like I know that strip club, and he still goes there. By the way, like he still goes there to this day, and that's basically where he met like his mom from. Like he met his mom from that. And so when it happened, his mom was putting, and it's crazy because like even before that, the woman was putting him on blast for years, and everyone just didn't take it serious.
They didn't believe it until
they didn't believe her because like they knew she had a kid, but nobody saw how he looked or anything. So then once the Pusha T thing came out, all of a sudden they started seeing pictures of his kid, and I'm like, there's no fucking denying, like that's Drake's kid. Like he looks exactly like Drake.
Absolutely, he does. He definitely does. So yeah, once again, Adonis getting the strays, bringing up the Pusha T line, and I love him when he compliments Drake. He was like, "Back to back, I like that song." That was the best. I just love Kendrick on this song. Like 4.5 stars, easy knockout blow. Drake lost this round. Then he was like, "All right, you wanted to do the tailor made and then push-ups back to back." He was like, "I'm gonna drop another track, 616 in LA." This was just him playing with him. This was just him like just throwing out and just exposing. This is like an expose kind of diss song. I give it 4 stars. 4 stars. Not as good as Euphoria, but 4 stars. You have to really like I think Power Driver Finisher said in the live chat, you have to really go out of your way to kind of look up the meaning of these lines, but there's a lot of meaning in a bunch of these lines. Josh, did you have any thoughts on 616 in LA?
No, I thought it was pretty good. I thought that was his best one, to be honest with you. And then this dude, what's the guy's name? I know he does like stuff with hip hop. He's like very fucking annoying because like I think when he was like listening to it, he was like listening to it, and then like you could just tell he's like he meat writes Drake. Like he was just like meat writing him. You know who I'm talking about? He's kind of like fat. He always wears a hat.
I don't know.
I forgot his name.
Black guy?
Yes. Oh, so the one, do you remember
Academic?
Yes, him.
DJ
Like,
Academic.
Yeah, like yo, like every time he like yo, he was. It's gotten to a point that nobody takes him serious when he talk. Like nobody takes him serious when he's like giving these reviews because we all know who he's gonna align with. Like we all know what he's gonna do. So like, when he's been doing it, he's been doing it. I know Jonathan's been saying it too. Like they've been taking like the clips and he's been showing like he's just like, oh, you could tell when somebody's lying. So he's like the dude is like making like these faces, like he's like trying to act like he's shocked and shit. And then Jonathan was putting like like you can see like references saying like, oh, you can tell when somebody is lying about some dumb shit. Yeah. And that's what it was. Like, that's actually how I heard the track was from that. So then I decided to listen to my own. I was like, hey, that actually was pretty good. Like me personally, I've been entertained. You know, I'm not a big rap guy, but I've been entertained as fuck.
I'm only doing this because I'm thoroughly entertained. I listened. The first song I listened to was Euphoria, and I was like, oh, I'm going down this rabbit hole. I was like, I heard that song. I was like, okay, I gotta go down this rabbit hole. I gotta learn everything. Then I listened to Tailor Made. Then I listened to Push Ups back to back. That's why I got the two confused. But yeah. That's how it happened, and then I did it in order basically after that. So then after 616 in LA, we finally got the Drake response. I haven't even watched the video yet. I'm tempted to play the video for everybody and watch it together without the sound because I think that will avoid us from getting copyright strike. But Family Matters I did listen to though. That was a great response. That's 4.5 stars. That was a great response. I was like, Drake, that showed effort. That showed effort and time. I didn't even know he had a music video as well. So it even showed even more time he put into this. But I mean, we'll get into, he didn't even have time to kind of do a victory lap and shit. But Josh, what did you think about Family Matters?
Yeah. Once I heard 616, I was like, hey, that's a really good response. Family Matters was better. I really, really enjoyed it. You know, yeah, it was like I said, it was a good response. Drake fans were taking the victory lap, and then it just didn't go that way, unfortunately.
It didn't last too long. It did not last too long.
At all.
Because once again, this dude went off and dropped back to back.
He had times, like, see,
but I'm sorry. Meet the Grams. That's a 5-star diss track. That shit is a therapy session. That shit, Elo, he broke down. He was like, this is you. This is your whole relationship with your mom. This is your whole relationship with your dad. This is your whole relationship with your son. This is you. This is me telling your family who you are. Like, yo, I have never heard something this like vitriol. Oh my God. Like, and then it's so crazy because like I think it's this song or They Not Like Us where Kendrick says, I don't even have a hating bone in my body. Dude, you literally just said on the other track you hate everything about it.
It's true.
It's so
really
great.
True.
It's so great. Meet the Grams is one of the greatest diss songs I think I've ever heard. Josh.
You know, so like when it comes to this song, right? And this is something I spoke about yesterday, right? So I made a reference, right? I made a reference on Instagram, and it's been blowing up. It's even still blowing up right now. Right? And I'm gonna tell you the stats on it. I'm gonna tell you the stats, right? So there was one clip that I had where it's Undertaker running in WrestleMania when he's running with the security after the running. I said that this is Drake with his Ghost Riders running into the booth for a response.
You know what? I can't. Right? What?
Right? So that video had 418,000 views, right? With over 6,000 likes, right? You know, I had people trying to say, oh, Kendrick has Ghost Riders too, and all. I'm like, bro, I don't give a fuck. I'm just entertaining. This is just funny to me. Like, this is great, right? So then Friday night, I posted a video because of how fast Kendrick's response came out.
Mm-hmm.
I did a reference to the Omega Osprey match when Will Ospreay did the one wing angel on Kenny, and Kenny kicked out at 1. Right. That video right now has over 44,000 likes, and it has 780,000 views because I made that reference. And oh my God, the people in the comments have been nuts because they're either bringing up the rap beef, they're either bringing up like, oh, Drake did this, but Kendrick, that song was boring. He did this, he did that, right? And then on top of that, everyone's bringing up AEW. Oh, this is why people hate AEW. This is why people hate Kenny. This is why Kenny's not a GOAT. This is why, like, why is he no selling? Who does this? Why are there no selling this stuff? Why are they doing this? Why are they doing that? But then last night, Cody kicked out of 1 from the Burning Hammer. No complaints from them. They got very defensive when I asked them, hey, where's your complaint about this? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Right? But basically, that was my response to that. The reference, people are bringing up, oh, it took Kendrick 3 weeks to respond. And I was like, no, my fucking reference was about Friday night. That's my reference because this shit does not happen. Like, he responded, the track dropped an hour after Family Matters. Like, it doesn't happen. And to me, it doesn't matter if it's pre-recorded, whatever the case may be. It's just something that doesn't happen. And when it comes to diss tracks, I mean, you got to do that at this point. Like, you got to have it ready. And that's what he did. And guess what? He grandstanded Drake's momentum. And, like, that's why right now, to me, that's why, like, he's winning. To me,
he won. He won. Yeah. Don't respond, Drake. Like, I'm telling you as an analyst, I try to help.
Yeah, there's no coming back from this. I think
there ain't no coming back because then after a 5-star diss track, this dude drops a 5-star club track. They oh my God,
bro,
They Not Like Us is right up there with Back to Back as easily the most like replayable diss song that you will ever listen to.
Bro,
like that is up there with Back to
cover.
Back, Takeover, and Ether as one of the most playable diss songs you could ever play.
Bro, even the cover is wild. Like, did you see the cover to that? It's fucking wild. It's Drake's house that has like the pinpoints, and it's basically like a registry that they do when they look for like the P words. That's the best way I can say it.
Yes.
I'm not gonna say the word, but you already know what I'm talking about.
Dude compared him to Harvey Weinstein. I mean, he's not pulling any punches. He threatened his life on a club banger.
And I think with this too is like, to me, just me personally, right? He's saying all this stuff because he said it in the other track too. Like he said in the other track too, right? That he's referencing Drake to being, that, right? And to me personally, I don't think Kendrick would make up something like that just to make himself, to make himself look good or make himself look, whatever the case you want to say, just because this is a serious thing. This is a serious matter. This is a serious allegation, right? And if this doesn't come out to be true, Drake could sue the shit out of him for it because it will be false. It will be defamation, and this is something character. Yeah, defamation. And this is something big. Me personally,
I mean, well, he said that Kendrick was a whole woman beater and he don't take care of his kid and some other stuff like that. So it's like,
no, I mean, when it comes to that, I mean, but even when it comes to that as well, like there's even like things that are like, because like me personally, like I don't know, like I haven't gotten deep into that. Like I've heard about it for years. Like, I've heard about that, but then there's other outlets that have said like, oh yeah, that it's been debunked, which doesn't mean anything. Like it can mean like, hey, it never happened. It happened behind closed doors. I don't know personally. So I'm not gonna say like, oh, Drake just made that up, because that's a thing that's been going on for years. Just like the whole thing that Kendrick brought up. There are things that I've heard about, and then once Kendrick brought that up, I'm like, oh shit, there might be some truth to this, because the last time he got exposed for keeping a secret child, he got exposed for it. He had no choice but to say, yeah, I have a son. So I mean, it's pretty messy. Once he did that, I was like, oh man, what can you say? What can Drake say that's gonna like?
He can't win. He can't win.
He can't win.
It's
just, there's no
He's only
back.
gonna win. He's only gonna win amongst his fans. Because again, no matter what he does,
because he's gonna make money. He's gonna make money. So that's your. I said it to our producer before the show started. The best wrestling comparison to the whole Drake and Kendrick beef is take away their outside of the ring, what their outside of the ring activities are. But it's the comparison of Hulk Hogan to Ric Flair in wrestling. It's Hulk Hogan fans back in the 80s used to always say, well, Hulk Hogan is more known. Hulk Hogan makes more money. That's why he's number one. And Ric Flair fans used to say, well, he makes money as well, but he's also putting on classic matches and wrestling for 60 minutes. Like Drake, he's a hit maker. He's made more hits than anyone in the past decade, more hits than anyone probably in the past 2 decades by the time we get into the end of the 2020s. So like he will be forever. He will be forever known. Yeah, features, everything he's done. Like he is an iconic artist. But Kendrick Lamar is just different. He's a lyricist. He is about that life, and he is the best rapper right now. Like you're a great artist. You can say you're the best artist, but you can't say you're the best rapper.
Yeah, and then also Kendrick, I think from what I know too, he's actually won an award for like a writing. He's won like a writing award. Like that's how good he is. And I think a lot of people, they want to use the whole thing. Oh, he uses ghostwriters. So I'm like, no, like he writes his own shit. Like, and he's proven that time to time that he writes his stuff, and he has awards to prove that. He's won awards alone just for writing. So this is, like I said before, man. I'm like Drake. Again, he's a great performer, but I'm like, do you really want to go toe to toe with a guy who could outright you? Like he could do shit like this is what he does, and I'm like, you don't know what you're getting yourself into. I mean, he does because he's done it several times already, but it's like all that money, like you said, all that money and fame don't mean shit. Like it don't mean shit.
You care about that shit way more than he do. He is on some Cat Williams shit, and you Steve Harvey.
Yep, that's it. That is correct. You're right. Yep.